All right, everybody. I am honored to have today's guest. He is the legendary lead singer of the LA Guns. I am talking about Phil Lewis. Phil, how are you?
I'm doing great. Ed, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, doing well. I'm excited because you guys have a new record out, well, coming out November 12th. It's called
Yeah,
Checkered Past, and
yeah.
it'll be available everywhere. But I got to
And
ask you,
they sent it to you. You've heard the whole thing?
no, I've only heard 4 songs off of it.
Ah, okay. Well, all right. Well, it's good. It's a really, really
Definitely.
good record. And the 4 songs that you heard, I assume will be Cannonball
Yep.
and Get Along.
Yep.
What was the
Uh,
other two?
it was Let You Down and Knock Me Down.
Oh, Let You Down. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That came out. We did that a year ago. That's the only song on this record that I've sung live.
Oh,
Everything
wow.
else has just been manufactured and remotely, and all sent in. We all sent our files over to Adam Hamilton, and it was a very interesting process. Quite unlike any other record we've ever made before. But
Absolutely.
I'm glad to have had something to do.
Yeah,
While we were
yeah.
down, all this downtime, it was nice to sink my teeth into something and not get bummed out like everyone else
Yeah, of
about
course.
fucking lockdown.
I know. And let me ask you, how challenging was it for you guys, like, mentally, and then like even like trying your best to do this record during the lockdown? Because I know like traveling was the issue.
Yeah, no, we couldn't. There was, like if we were going to do it, the only way we could do it is each individual member sets up a recording setup in their home,
Okay.
and get up to speed on high definition file exchange.
Okay.
And it was a learning curve for me. I haven't done any engineering in a long time, and I've never done this big file exchange. But it was, it's good to learn something useful
Yeah.
when you're stuck at home. And yeah, the recording, the singing, and I was actually having fun, even though it's a lot more fun when the guys are all together in a room, and that's the nature of the band. But we made the best of it, and I think it turned out great under the circumstances.
Okay. So I know, so the album's called Checkered Past, and I got to ask you, because I feel like you guys have always, I know they emphasized a darker edge maybe to the music and lyrically, but I always feel like you guys have always kind of had that throughout your career. And does Checkered Past have to do with that, or is there more to it?
Checkered Past is a each one of these albums that we've put out since the reunion 5 years ago. It's been a bit of a pun, like the missing piece after a 15-year estrangement. Peace spelled, like love and peace.
Yeah.
The devil, yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. Yeah.
With Checkered Past, we were so enamored with Cannonball that we were going to call it Cannonballs, and it just kind of got silly with some of the visual ideas for that. So we needed to come up with a better title, and Checkered Past sums up his and I's relationship, long relationship, pretty well, I think.
Okay. Um, so I know it says that a lot of the tracks you guys took a darker route, meaning like darker edited songs. Was this a conscious effort, or did it sort of come naturally? And like I said, I know you guys have always had that kind of darker edge.
Yeah, I mean, it just happened. It turned out that way, but there's a lot of light stuff, a lot of humor on that record too. It's just a well balanced Led Zeppelin esque
Okay.
record. Those like those are our idols. Those are the guys that we look up to and emulate. And it's always been important for us to have a well rounded product, and it not to be too one-dimensional, or just not, or to be too silly, or quirky or anything like that. We just like to mix it up. So there was no blueprint, let's make a dark record because it's a dark time. It wasn't anything like that. It was just like the first 10 or 11 songs Tracy put together musically, and we rolled with that.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to be honest. When I heard Let You Down, I was like kind of blown away just because I loved the way it starts, like kind of slow, and it builds up.
It's haunting.
Yeah. And I was I was in love with it the first moment I heard it.
Yeah, it's deep. It's good. It's definitely a deep cut, and I mean, deep lyrically, musically. We're really opening ourselves up on that one. And the reaction has just been overwhelming, and that's the only song from this record that I've sung live, because we did a live stream, as I said, about a year ago, and we put it in the set, and it felt so good.
Yeah. And I mean, and I feel like jokingly, I feel like it talks about my love life in a way, but I feel there's more to that track than just, because I mean, it does seem, there's the whole love me tonight, hate me tomorrow, I'm going to let you down. Is it more than just that? I feel like you said in the beginning, it kind of, Checkered Past kind of sums up the relationship, right?
Yeah.
Over the 15 years. So is it like heading, like, does it go that direction?
Actually, it's not 15. It's more like 35 years.
Okay.
But we had, as I said, a 15-year estrangement.
That's what I mean.
No, I think that there's no double meanings or anything going on there. It's pretty much self-explanatory, I think. It's some relationships aren't meant to last forever, and it's a song about cutting your losses, and you knew going into it at the beginning what you were getting into. So that's sort of lyrically where we're going with that.
Okay. All right.
But no, it's certainly not. There are no happy, oh gosh, I love you songs on this record. God, love is so fantastic. None of that. No, it broods more on the darker, sadder aspects of love.
And it's more, and to me, it's more honest.
Very honest.
Because nothing
painfully honest, actually.
Right. Because we all know, like, yeah, everything might seem like, puppies and kittens at first, the honeymoon, but we all know no relationship is perfect.
That's right. And, I wrote a song called You Better Not Love Me once. And it's like an extension of that. It's just don't go there. Don't get too close. I don't want that. And neither do you.
Right. So I want to talk about this next track, because at first I heard a 30-second preview, and then I heard the whole track, and I was completely like, I thought Let You Down was going to be my favorite track.
Well, are you talking about Get Along?
Oh my God. Who came up with that lead riff?
Oh, Tracy, of course. Yeah. Tracy. Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
It sounds, for us, I don't know, for me, it sounds like something off of Led Zeppelin 3. It's kind of it's got a folk, rock folk hybrid crossover vibe to it.
Yeah.
And after the madness and pantomime of Cannonball, I think it's a great contrast to have such a slow, groovy, easy-going, get along song, and once again, that's a song about moving on and just having the guts to get along with it.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, you mentioned like Led Zeppelin 3, but I gotta be honest, it feels so fresh, so relevant to like it doesn't sound outdated, is what I'm saying. And to me,
Uh,
that was just unbelievable.
well, that's we didn't set out to reinvent the wheel. It sounds like how we put it together. I'm sure our generation. It doesn't sound for somebody that's maybe 20, like a Machine Gun Kelly
Yeah.
fan might not get it in the slightest. I think we've all matured, and we've all sort of grown up together in the last few decades, and I think we very much speak for your generation as opposed to like a new jack. I can't see us winning over legions of 20 something fans with this record. And of course that was never the objective.
No, of course. But I mean, at the same time, though, I just feel like if somebody was interested in getting into hard rock
Yeah.
and learning all about it, I just feel like they would hear this and they would wonder, is this a new band or who is this? And then you would
Right.
have to go in and explain, hey, this is the LA Guns. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. And you know what? It's not legions, but we do have them show up quite frequently in their late teens and in early 20s, and want to know what it's all about.
Yeah.
And they're always very, very welcome. This band, LA Guns, now, this is like 2.0. There's the original band that was formed like in 86.
Yep.
That's last century. That was last century's music, and we're proud of it, and it's served us very well, and I know a soundtrack to a lot of people's lives. But we've got new shit to do. We've got new stuff inside of us, and we know it's never going to sell anything like it did, the Cocked and Loaded, like the gold records or anything like that. And that's not the point. The reason we do it is because we love it, and we're compelled to do it because
Yeah.
we're creative people.
Yeah. Do you feel, because of the new age that we're in and the fact of, downloads and stuff like that, do you feel like that kind of ruined the industry? Whereas in like bands don't necessarily make that kind of money anymore?
Well, the record will be released November 11th, and I imagine it'll be pretty easy to find it, to bootleg it November 12th.
Yeah.
And that's just the nature of it. Most of our income is derived from live performances.
Yeah. Yeah.
So record sales, and that really doesn't amount to very much at all. So when you go into a record, you can't even think of it. It's too depressing to think about it, really.
Yeah.
Also, the same, it's depressing that of the 11 songs on this record, we'll only probably be able to pick 3 or maybe at the most 4 to play live, because it's so important for us to play songs that people know, like Sex Action, Never Enough, Electric Gypsy, and we're okay with that, of course. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a thankless task, but talking to people like you who get it and dig it, that certainly goes a long way to inspiring us to carry on and keep doing this.
Yeah. Let me ask you, did you guys, because I know, I mean, of course, the problem with doing any record once you've been around for so long is, like you said, people want to hear the classics. But do you ever feel like sometimes doing the kind of, I call it doing the Iron Maiden way and saying, hey, you know what, screw it. Like we've got, a new record, we're going to play it.
Yeah, that's great. And a band like Iron Maiden can do that and pull it off and do it well. Before lockdown, we were celebrating the 30th anniversary of Cocked and Loaded.
Yeah.
And our plan was to go out and play that record in its entirety, to tour it.
Yeah.
And we're really looking forward to it. And, you know, we all relearned the songs, and obviously that didn't happen. But we did get a chance to do a live stream. So there's a live stream of the full Cocked and Loaded record floating around out there. That was great fun. I'm glad we got to do it at least once.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm just so, I still retain my boyish enthusiasm for you know, I honestly do, deep down in my heart, you know, like, no lie, I really feel that this is the best thing we've ever done. But to be fair, I felt the same way about the last record and the record before that. It's just me. I'm just so enthusiastic, and I feel so good about it, and I'm just so happy with the way it turned out. Every track, I really feel, this is a bit. This is going to do something. This is, as I always say, this song. This is going to change everything. That's my catchphrase. But you know, it should. If there was any justice, it would. But you know, we know that this industry is devoid of that.
Yeah, no kidding. No, I just feel, and like what you were saying, because when you're so proud of something, it's like it becomes your baby.
Yeah, sure, it really does. I mean, and I'm, you know, so incredibly proud of it, and I can't wait. Just really can't wait to get out and do this. Did you see the video for Cannonball?
I did, and it was great.
So, well over the top, and you know,
Why not?
Yeah, why not indeed? And you know, when I was writing and recording it, that was going on in my head. You know, I'd be in shorts and a t-shirt, but in my head, I you know, I had the big dandy captain's wig and the hat on, and you know, the whole galleon ensemble, and it's just great. And I really jumped at the opportunity to get a little bit Elton John on the
which was great
in the video, and yeah. So you know, that's Cannonball is going to be the opening song of the set, and I'm bringing the captain out on the road with me.
Oh, nice. And the thing about Cannonball is it's straightforward, like just balls to the wall rock and roll.
Yeah, there's one on every record. Like there was Speed.
It
was like, you know, he just has a knack of just dialing that fantastic riff in, and making it work in the context of a song.
Yeah. Let me ask you, I feel, and maybe not just me, but I feel like Tracy doesn't get enough credit in the industry, because he is such a brilliant musician. It's unreal.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I mean, he's undoubtedly a virtuoso, and they're very, my relationship with Tracy is I've worked with hundreds of guitar players, but he's by far the best, and because he's just so passionate and serious about the craft, he doesn't fuck around, and he brings that out in me. I've had I have a lot of fun with other guitar players, but I don't take it anywhere near as seriously as I do with Tracy, because you know, there's just no fucking around with us two. He gives the very best he's got, and in return I give the best that I've got too, and it's always been that way. But you know, like when you think of people, you know, like like the G3 and the G4s, the Malmsteens and the Satrianis and all of that. You know, Tracy can do that, but you know, he's a blues boy. You know, his and soul, blues and soul. You know, these other guys that I just mentioned, they're brilliant, they're dexterous, they're virtuosos,
of course,
but they can't touch Tracy's feel,
and it shows in the music, because it's the music feels honest, it feels real, and it feels like he actually tried to write an amazing song.
That's right, and he approaches it as a songwriter, and not an exercise in dexterity. All those guys that I mentioned, they're brilliant, but they can't write a song to save their lives. You know, their records are, you know, a fantastic journey of musical dexterity.
Yeah.
But it's dull because you need more than that. You need some soul, and Tracy's got no shortage of that whatsoever.
And to quote somebody before, Zach Wilde, I remember, said that sometimes the most simplest riff is one of the greatest.
Yeah, sure. It doesn't have to be complicated. I mean, if it works, it gets you and it does the job. Yeah, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be that complicated.
I agree.
And look at ACDC, man. It's just like
Big example.
that's what, you know, I think that's what people really love. It's like, well, I could play that. I could do that. You know, it's got that it just got that vibe that it's not like you don't play the first track and it starts off with this insane run that you could only do if you've been playing since you were 14 years old and you're in your 40s.
Yeah.
You know, that's an instant turn off for me. And I think for most rock, you know, just rock fans, just casual rock fans. And that's what appeals about ACDC. It's like, yeah, that's cool. I could do that.
Right.
Which we could. They make it sound like it. You couldn't, of course, but that's one of their brilliant gifts, is they make it sound easy, but it's not at all.
I know. When you actually try to start playing it, you're like, oh my God, what was Angus doing? Like,
yeah, sure. You know, it brilliant. And I love those guys. And we just had such great time touring with them, and they're just so normal, down to earth, you know, and you know, I grew up in London in the 70s, and I used to go and see them play in pubs. I'd see them play to about 40, sometimes like 40 people. Wow. And they were just this new band that came over from Australia on the circuit, you know, trying to get some traction. And by God, did they ever.
And the craziest thing, too, was, I mean, I'm sure in England, I mean, you guys got it. Always have gotten it when it came to rock. For some reason, I've always gotten it. But over here in America, they were known as a punk band. The first time they ever came over here. That's what makes me laugh, because
that like, is funny.
You guys get it, and then we're like a little behind on the, you know.
You know what that sounds like somebody in the marketing department of a label that doesn't really know what they're talking about, and they threw it in, like, you know, let's call it new wave. Yeah, it's a little bit like, you know, Elvis Costello and the Police. They call that punk rock, and it couldn't be further, but it came out at that time, and I understand, you know, that's why they call us hair metal, because we came out at that time, but we're not. You know, but to call ACDC punk rock,
it made me laugh.
Yeah, it is funny. I mean, it doesn't get more straight ahead rock and roll than that, but maybe they thought that would put off the younger fans. They were, you know, trying to pitch it to appeal to a younger generation. I don't know.
Yeah, either that, or like you said, they just didn't understand it.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like anything that's new and fresh, they just don't understand.
No, it takes them forever to figure it out. And
of course.
And that's one of the great things, you know, about being in this position and this indie level. We get no pressure like that anymore. We don't have to deal with any bullshit from publicists and accountants and management, you know, like insisting that we change our direction or start wearing different kinds of clothes or anything like that. It's entirely. And there was a lot of that.
I was just going to ask you about that.
Yeah, back in the old days before the bubble burst, it was getting really, really difficult, and you can see it in our photo shoots. In the early shoots, we're all smiles and all happy, all hugging each other, and by the end of it, we've been so spun around with all these, you know, different hangers on. We couldn't even look at each other. We just it put so much pressure on the band's friendship. There's nothing like that now, and that'll do fine.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, because I mean, for being around for so long, it's like, how did you guys? Because I know tons of bands. I won't mention any, but tons of bands that kind of caved a little bit anytime a new trend sort
Oh,
of came
sure,
out.
yeah, sure, and that was,
But how did you
encouraged.
guys stay away from that and say, no, we're LA Guns. This is what we sound like. This is who we are.
We didn't. We imploded. We split up. We in 91, 92. That was it. It was done. We were over.